Lies of P DLC has 4 of the best weapons in the whole game. We're talking a lightning blade that turns your dodge into a teleport and can discharge into an opponent for lightning beam damage. A shotgun gunblade that attacks, explodes, explodes, attacks, attacks, explodes. And the Silent Evangelist Mace, which pukes out acid, tons of acids, pretty much staggering everyone instantly, and has one of the best movesets in the game. And yep, that handle can be used for quite some cool combinations. And last but not least, we'll talk about this saber, which also goes pretty damn amazing all around the world. Let's begin in order. 4 hours into the DLC, you get the Arch Guardian's Blade, and I'll show you the location of each of these as well. It has electric attack damage and has a B tier advanced scaling. The weapon in itself unassuming. Quick hits, that's light attacks. Then with heavy attacks, it actually shoots electricity forward. Yep, that hits with the hit and then hits with the electricity double. So I can either on distance electrify our opponents, or I can get closer and electrify and double hit at the same time. And then with your triangle weapon art, you're actually going to electrify your blade to always do electric damage. Amazing. And then when you charge up, it's even more devastating. So when I do my heavy charge, it's now stronger than ever. And my dodge gets turned into a teleport. That makes dodging even easier. And with the L1 in triangle, you can do a laser beam forward like this, doing tons of damage. Now, of these two items, the Guardian Blade is definitely cooler than the Guardian Handle. The handle can be also used on other weapons, but with the blade and then a long tier handle, like the one from the Silent Evangelist Mace, you can create an extreme long range slashing spear. Yabba dabba do. That also with heavy attacks just as this. And that extreme long range slashing spear can get electrified. You get the teleport dodges followed up with the very amazing sweep attacks to take down puppets left, right, and center. For this weapon, you get to be in area number 3. And here we want you at the Ergo mining site. Walk forward from the Stargazer. You will have to make it through the right side to then activate this little shortcut and make your way up the ladder. This gets you to a platform which carries you over the piece of water to the other side. Run past the annoying hammer roboter over the bridge, and then you can actually drop down to the left here, and this chest has the Arc Guardian's Blade. Then we're gonna make it electrified and hammer away at this robot. Love the damage. Or just sweep and swipe him with all the distance we have. Item would be the Pale Knight Gunblade. The location is the zone's end boss, 3rd zone end boss. He gives you the Tortured Guardian's Ergo, which could also buy you the Nightmare Amulet, where you increase attribute damage inflicted on enemies affected by the same attribute status ailment. But you actually do want to have the Pale Knight Sword. Or Greatsword, it has surprising fast light attacks. Then with the heavy attack, you're stabbing forward once, and then you shoot behind you and slash forward as well. In charge, it would look like this. Kind of nice. Running attack with a heavy is a simple explosion, and you can go for the boom and then follow up with the backswing again, second one. And with a light running attack, you actually do a little jump, which is kind of nifty, gotta say. Then we got on our triangle the explosion into the enemy. It is not a shot. You gotta stand close to your opponent, but you don't have to stand inside of them. With the L1 in triangle, you strengthen the bullet to temporarily enhance explosion attacks. Ergo, with the L1, you can see the blue sheen about the blade, and if you then go for any kind of explosion, it has this blue fire around it. And this also counts for the normal heavy attack explosions, which are all empowered like this. My personal favorite about this was just the simple light attack that allowed for some nice attack and swipe. Gap closer, swipe. Doesn't hurt. Wasn't too special of a weapon. I preferred the next one, which is called the Silent Evangelist Mace. Motivity B, Technic C. It doesn't by nature do acid damage, but it has the ability on triangle to acid spray. That one is great because it almost always leads to a stagger extremely quick. And with L1 and double triangle, you do these double swipes. Now the standard light attack is already this. Very big gap closer. These are just light attacks. Then for the normal heavy, you're sweeping like there's no tomorrow. And if you would go for charged heavy attack, you go for the double sweep. Amazing for taking out groups of enemies. With a running heavy, again, swing everything, and a running light forward. Great. Now the acid from the Snakehead is extremely powerful, especially against mutated enemies. Absolutely love that one. It's a stagger O master. But the real deal of this weapon is the handle, and that you can pretty much use it with whatever you feel like. As I've shown you in the beginning, the spearhead, the Art Guardian spear for the lightning, but you can also take the La Vendetta head from our first video, and then instead of lightning, you're gonna make your weapon explode. So now we have these swings, and every hit is actually an explosion. So I'm gonna go for the charge attack, bam, bam, bonus explosions. That is as well very good. And that's not all of it, right? We get an acid spewing head, we get lightning now, we get explosions. You could also put the puppet saber blade. Simple thing on the very tippity-toppity. And then with your triangle, you get the amazing Storm Slash on an anyways crazy weapon that has tons of range. Gotta say though, I really prefer with the Art Guardian Spear, the electric version has just turned out to be the best possible combination. For this weapon, you gotta be already in zone number 4. And here we're talking about the Frozen Coast. From the Frozen Coast, you turn around, make your way back up the ladder, walk outside and on top, and here you get to fight your way through these lads to loot the chest in the corner. You would not be coming from the Frozen Coast, you would come from the other side of the ship, but as you go through the ship, as you have beaten the ship, you'll end up at the Frozen Coast. So if you then missed that weapon, you can easily just make your way back. And from that point on, I've been only using that head, because you're going to be fighting mutated stuff after mutated stuff after mutated stuff. With all 3 of these weapons, I would be heavily interested in actually beating the main game. But the final weapon has me the most excited, and that's the one I want to take all the way to NG plus 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's called the Monad Rose Sword. This one has, with your light attack, already amazing forward travel. I mean, seriously, what is this? Then with the charged heavies, you're going forward too. Followed up by the Swirl Swirl. So 1 and then Swirl Swirl is great. Then with the triangle, triangle, and triangle, you're an absolute demon. If you go for a running heavy attack, also just you're flying forward. Running light attack, also sweep attack, flying forward. And if we go for L1 plus triangle, well, let me tell you, that sword packs a punch. This very weapon you get at the end of the game. You cannot miss it. All 4 of these weapons have me plenty excited to start the game from the very beginning on again and play all the way through to the end to destroy the nameless puppet. And the very best thing on top is just the new Legion arm, which would be the Icarus. Not the Cataclysm. Cataclysm is okay, but Icarus is so much better. If your opponent gets staggered, is on range, or stands for a single second, you can just start spamming them with the blades. I've been continuously using this in boss fights to get enemies ready to get staggered, in damage windows to get them hurt. It's simply amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm done with the DLC. It took me 8 hours. It was an amazing journey, and now I'm off to actually beating the game again. If you have missed the first 4 weapons, here is the video and the live stream of me actually beating the game. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you a great time with Lies of P Overture.